Hey guys, so it seems that Elizabeth Warren is currently pushing for Joe Biden to select her as her BP for the 2020 presidential run that Biden is about to embark in a couple of months as he goes and confronts Donald Trump, since he's the presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party, and likely he might. Obviously, he's going to get the nomination, and obviously, there's a bunch of allegations. Well, no, just one huge allegation of sexual harassment towards Joe Biden, as well as many other reasons why Joe Biden is not the perfect candidate to go against Donald Trump, because likely he's gonna lose if he goes into the debate stage and tries to beat Donald Trump. But this story is just based on Elizabeth Warren being the opportunist that she always been, right? It seems that Bernie Sanders was asked about if he was supported of Elizabeth Warren becoming the presumptive VP choice for Joe Biden. And to it, and surprisingly, Bernie Sanders says he's not supportive of Warren becoming Biden's running mate. Why is that? Well, let's see. He says, according to The Hill, Sanders not urging Biden to pick Warren as a running mate. And here's the report, right? He says, Senator Bernie Sanders has thus far not encouraged former Vice President Joe Biden's team to consider Senator Elizabeth Warren as his running mate, despite his long-standing ideological alliance with the Massachusetts senator. Three people familiar with Sanders' conversations with Biden, whom the Vermont lawmaker has endorsed, told the Washington Post that Sanders has declined to back some liberals' efforts to convince the former vice president to select Warren as his number two. A top spokesperson for the Sanders campaign told The Hill that the senator and his team are not advising that the Biden campaign's vice presidential selection process in any way, shape, or form. The senator is focused on building policy task forces to write a party platform that puts forward a new vision for America, spokesman Mike Casca said. Sanders' Senate office did not immediately respond to a request for comment from The Hill, weren't frequently being mentioned in speculation about Biden's running mate. Really, liberals saying that she could serve as an effective a concession to progressives who were disappointed that Sanders was unable to win the Democratic 2020 nomination. So based on that, we could say this. Look, what has Elizabeth Warren said about Biden current's allegations of sexual harassment? I'm gonna play you as a clip of what she said about Kavanaugh's sexual allegations towards him when he was trying to be elected for as a judge, all right, as a judge for Congress, right, and obviously that's when the whole Democratic Party went and said we need to believe women, because it's essential for us to give women opportunity to speak out and not to be brought down upon because they're giving a sexual allegation towards a person of power, just like Kavanaugh, right? And that person herself didn't have much evidence to back up her story. It was just based on what he said, she said thing, right? And Democrats weren't fully 100% in favor of her, right? And one of them was Elizabeth Warren, especially during the 2020 campaign when she ran on the merit of being one of the top presidential candidates to become the presumptive nominee, and as herself describing, "Oh, I'm a woman, I'm one of the only two women here going against this white man, and that's what it's basically she focused upon throughout the whole campaign, right? And it came to bite her off in the ass because people didn't buy it. Obviously, she had that confrontation with Bernie Sanders by accusing him being a secret sexist, and that didn't go so well with the progressive base. And obviously, as time went on, she did endorse Bernie Sanders, just not because she could have just easily just forgot what happened between amongst them, and she could just endorse Bernie Sanders based on the policies because according to her, or according to most people, as you saw, as you read in the article, they align politically. Their policies, they were in favor of the same policies almost. And she didn't endorse them because she doesn't really care about policies. She only cares about herself. And obviously, she cares about becoming the president of the United States. In this case, she wants to be the VP for Joe Biden. And she did what she needed to do to bring down Bernie Sanders, right? She stayed on the race even if she didn't have money, right? She didn't have money to stay on the race. She didn't have the delegates. She had no chance of winning. But guess what? Some super PAC came in out of nowhere and gave him $50 million so he could stay one freaking day. One day. And later on, we find out that that super PAC was run by someone who was a top Hillary Clinton aide, right? Some Hillary Clinton, or someone who ran in the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016, right? Here's the clip, right? Here's the clip of her dealing with the whole sexual allegations towards Biden and also Kavanaugh.
So much, Brian. Do you believe that the...
Actually, there's no this system. Okay. My bad.
When men, Dr. Ford.
I believe Lucy Flores.
I believe Dr. Ford.
I believe Lucy Flores.
I believe the woman.
Do you believe he's
Which means
lying?
he's not telling the truth.
And why would he lie? Because just to protect himself.
Yeah? And why would she lie?
Women need to be believed.
This is about making sure that we get real accountability when men misbehave. They are willing to step on anyone, including the victim of a vicious sexual assault, in order to advance their agenda. The Republicans have decided they can just roll this one on through, and they can roll over not only Dr. Ford, not only the other accusers, but roll over millions of women who have had it with men who decide that they are entitled and they don't have to listen to complaints about sexual assault. I believe
So
Dr.
that's what she says about Dr. Ford and her allegation towards Kavanaugh, right? But what did she say about Joe Biden's allegation? Right? She said that she believes Joe Biden and she believes in his word, and he says that he hasn't done basically anything. That's what he said about Biden. And why? Let Piper Winks right here. She said it. Why isn't Tyree's story personal to you, Elizabeth Warren? Right? Because it gets in the way of your personal ambitions. Right now, she's trying to be Joe Biden's VP. So what? She's gonna come out and say, "Look, I'm against. I believe Tyree and her allegations." That basically would align herself perfectly based on what she has said in the previous months, right? With believe all women, right? Believe women, be in their favor, hear them out, don't put them down when they want to tell their stories, right? And obviously now that she's in a position of doing the same thing against Joe Biden, she immediately says, "No, I believe him. I believe when he says that she's a liar. I believe when she says that this is wrong and this is just a smear campaign against him," right? So obviously she throw everything that she supposedly believes right out the window for her own self-ambitions, right? To personal gain. All to be nominated as a VP. And obviously she's not going to be nominated. Why? Because according to most establishment Democrats, she's too far to the left. Right? She's too far to the left. And she cannot win. Man, she lost in Massachusetts against Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. She came out third place in her own fucking state. What makes you think that she may her becoming VP is gonna help Joe Biden? It's not. It's not. I mean, Trump himself dislikes Warren and actually makes fun of her all the time. So if she becomes her VP, my God, he's gonna eat Joe Biden based on the fact that he has cognitive decline issues and the rape allegation, and her for being obviously the two-faced snake that she is. I mean, I'm sorry if you that offended you about her, but she is. She's an opportunist, and not just based on what she did this year. We could see her actions since 2016. She had a chance to endorsing the only progressive candidate that aligned with her policy point of views. She decided to withhold her endorsement for a full year for the simple fact that the Hillary Clinton campaign told her, look, if you don't endorse Bernie, you have a chance of becoming VP if I become the nominee. And you know what happened, right? Hillary Clinton became the nominee. They told her, look, you're not gonna be our VP, sorry. And that's after she came and endorsed Hillary Clinton. But once she throw her leverage, they throw her out of the window and say, thank you for your endorsement. Now get the fuck out of my way. And thank you for not endorsing Bernie Sanders. That helped with us a lot. That's Elizabeth Warren. And she did it again this year. You saw her. I don't have to tell you guys again. And she continues to do it because she is a two-faced politician. She doesn't stand for the issues. She doesn't care about people. As you saw right there, she threw Tara Reid in the trash. He threw all her beliefs in the trash. All for personal gain. That's Elizabeth Warren. This is the class Elizabeth Warren 101. And she should not be considered a progressive because she's not. She's not. She doesn't care about progressive issues, policies, or anything like that. She has shown it over and over again that she's not willing to sacrifice for the sake of, putting the issues first. And that's Elizabeth Warren right there.